Okay, awesome. So good. So something kind of neat about the energies going on right now is the fact that it was Thanksgiving. And I think, are starting to get to a point. Brain upgrades. What does it entail? That is an awesome question. Brain upgrades. I think that can be taken on two levels, right? It can be taken on the physical level and it can be taken on the spiritual level. And right now, the spiritual level, astrologically, we're really supported. We're sort of all going through this bit of a collective shift in, you're welcome, Nikki, no problem. A collective shift in awakening, per se, where we're starting to open the box a little bit. We're starting to see things a little bit differently, maybe not get so stuck in the stories that we used to tell ourselves, that we're kind of realizing maybe some of these stories weren't really serving us. And so we decide that we want to have a better life. We decide that we want more peace or more harmony in our life. We decide that, we're not happy with the way things are going, or we want to sort of change things. And so we start to sort of spiritually evolve, and the physical sort of follows it. Once we start to kind of trust a little bit, trust in the universe, trust that everything is supposed to sort of work out the way it is, and trust in timing, and trust that these shifts are meant to be, that we're on this path for a reason. It starts to allow the brain to upgrade a little bit, but not only um, on the spiritual realm, on the physical realm. Once you start changing things on an energetic level, once you start being able to think and feel a little bit differently, it actually starts to rewire the neural pathways in the brain. And so that's why a lot of people recommend, writing gratitude for, say, write 10 things that you're grateful for every single day. Now, if we do it once, it's wonderful and it feels really good. But if we do it every day, it builds up energetic magnetism and it starts to attract more. And this is how the laws of the universe work. The laws of attraction start to work. It starts to bring more. If we're focused on the negative, of course, it can tend to bring more of that too. And so especially this time, this sort of astrological time, right now, where the moon is in Gemini, and the Gemini is all about sort of being the human and the being at the same time, being a human being, understanding that we are energy, understanding that it's not just physical. If we are feeling like crap, it's really hard to take care of yourself and make good choices. If you're feeling good, you feel inspired, and then you're not having to force it. It just feels like inspired action. And that's kind of what's going on right now. We have there's solar cycles. We're in the 25th solar cycle since they started charting solar cycles. And what happens is we get these downloads a little bit easier, right? We get these abilities to tap into our intuition. We start to sort of trust our intuition a little bit more. And that's kind of what the Gemini moon brings in. But then with the Gemini and, all of the communications, we're starting to learn. I think a lot of us are starting to see how we're treating other people, how we're treating ourselves, how it feels, how we can impact people with our words and our emotions and our energies. And looking at Thanksgiving, everybody was so grateful yesterday. And it felt like a bit of a shift happened today where people were just a little bit happier. Whereas before the holiday, it was like some sadness was coming in. And, we were all sort of collectively grieving the ones that weren't with us. We were moving through this sort of shedding of a lot of this grief and a lot of these things that we were hanging on. And in turn, we're able to be more into that gratitude, and it on such a collective level, it's sort of shifted for people where they're like, I just really miss that person. I let myself kind of go inside. I let myself have those few moments of peace and quiet, and instead of getting all stressed out, I actually sort of stepped back for a minute and thought about what was really bothering me about it. And it turns out that, these new stories are coming in, these new insights are coming in, especially with this full moon, as to the way things really are. We're getting this perceptual shift happening, whether we really know that it's happening or not. It's happening for a lot of people. And in fact, as this week progresses, there may be a time that you find yourself with other people and you are, and I'm going to reframe that. It's more of a past situation that's gone on that you don't feel right about. You know, it was never, it's not settling, right? There's more information that's going to be coming. And this, we're in like a pre-Mercury retrograde shadow, which brings in lots of information for us. And Gemini does this as well, right? The moon being here. So we're feeling, it's like for a lot of us, we've been feeling this pressure. We know we want to do something and we kind of have that we think we're ready to do it, but there's some more information that's going to be coming through in clarity with these sun cycles, with the way the planets are sort of aligning next week, with the way the full moon is going to sort of purge some stuff. There's going to be some really big insights and some really big intuition coming in. I've just got goosebumps. I've had them almost the whole time I've been talking here. It's really neat. There's going to be some really big clarity coming. Like, we know what we wanted, but we're not totally sure. There's still some unsurety. It's like all of a sudden we kind of came to this, there's this Mars Saturn conjunction that essentially is a roadblock. And sometimes we have to get to a roadblock and ask ourselves, you know, can I wait here until they unblock the road? Should I go around the detour? Sometimes we have to maybe get to this point to be able to actually facilitate our way through it, not in the way that we did before. And this is the big lesson, I think, for this whole last couple of weeks, for this new moon that we had in Scorpio. We really started to discover and understand who we are. And now it's kind of like the time to integrate it, almost like you've always been sort of feeling like a hockey player. I've been spending way too much time at the rink. So sports analogies are like the thing that is coming to my mind right now. But it's like really wanting to be a hockey player, but you always we play this sport in my hometown called ringette. And so my daughter's gone from playing ringette to hockey. And I keep having to say, you know, you're not playing ringette. It's different rules, even though it's on ice, even though it's kind of the same, there's different rules, right? There's different things that the positions do. Ringette, you go and stand in a certain place. Hockey, you're always moving. You have to know these rules to play the proper game. And it's kind of like now we've been asking to play this game, and we're going in and playing the game, but we haven't really had the experience. We've had maybe some you know, research, some information that we've brought in, so you can kind of apply this to anything, whether it's a job or something that you're really trying to manifest, whether it's a new relationship or whether it's finances, whatever it is that you're trying to sort of manifest. People have been going through these shifts over the last few weeks where they're just paying attention to what's really going on right now, where we haven't paid that much attention to it before. It's something we wanted, but we never really applied ourselves. So now we get to go in, we get to take all this information that we have and we get to go play hockey. Then you play your first game of hockey and you're like, holy crap, I don't know if I'm cut out for this. You know, you get smashed into the boards, all these things can happen. And you're like, why did I want to play hockey? You know, we have to allow ourselves to play a few more games and actually stay in the game. We get to choose this though, right? So right now, this roadblock, this is like, you're in the game. So are you going to keep going, or are you going to give up because maybe it didn't work out this one time? Maybe it didn't work out that one time because it wasn't meant to. So in this case, what we see as a big shift coming is this whole energy of us actually being the sun being in the sign of Sagittarius, where Sagittarius is kind of like I know what to do, it's fine, I'm just going to go ahead and do it, you know, not just kind of going from past patterns, and can sometimes have to learn the hard way. It's kind of like knowing these astrological influences are here right now to help us. We don't have to learn the hard way. We can actually sort of slow down, know that Saturn's in retrograde. So Saturn is a big teacher, right? It's all about having all the information and sort of moving forward. This is all kind of happening in the next week or so. So a lot of times we hear things like Mercury retrogrades coming. Oh my goodness, tech can go crazy, communications can go crazy. Mercury retrograde is actually going to be a little bit of a helper to us this year. So this pre-shadow phase, Mercury retrograde is happening around December 12th till about January 1st, depending on which hemisphere you're in, 12th, 13th to 1st, 2nd. And so what's actually being recommended is to kind of sort of let Saturn's retrograde, the stillness, the wait, and collect information, collate everything, get all your ducks in a row, and then move forward, because we've had so many insights and so many things. We're feeling this pressure to just do it right now. I should just do it. I should have it already. Why don't I have it already? I've been wanting this for so long. Why isn't it here yet? And a lot of people are feeling this, and they're feeling this pressure, like I should just do it right now. The best time to do it will be in like a week or two, when these proper insights have come in from these planets that are sort of, we've got Mars in the sun sign as well, and Mercury. And so with Mars in the sun sign, that's our real push forward. We're not going to lose this momentum. We're just going to gain more by having more clarity. And this clarity is really going to come in the next week or two. It's going to come in really different forms, though. It's going to come in conversations that you have with people, perhaps people from the past. With Mercury retrograde, it's usually the past kind of showing up again. You're going to be thinking about someone, all of a sudden you're going to run into them, or they might call you or drop you a message. There's going to be little insights like this. But if we're in a negative state inside, if we're feeling like, God, nothing ever works out for me, I just don't have it, I'm so broke, I don't know what I'm going to do. If we're feeling like that, we're not going to be able to actually hear that intuition. We're not going to feel it. We're not going to be in receiving mode, right? But near the end of the week, like even by Thursday, Venus kind of comes in, Neptune comes in and allows us to be more in that receiving mode. So you're going to be feeling this want to actually work things out. It's going to be interesting. There's going to be maybe even an argument that you had with someone a long time ago and you're still okay, but it's not the same. There's going to be some clarity that comes from this, because the way we're speaking, our throat chakra is opening up with this full moon too. The way that we're speaking to people, to others, we're noticing now. We're paying attention. We're literally on a collective level, sort of tuning into what we're saying. But this can also, for people that are sort of stuck in that negative state, or that are the guns are loaded, they're very triggerable. We have Mars energy and Mercury energy also working with that fire, right? And that it can heat things up really quick. So they might just be really quick to explode at you. But the difference is going to be that you're going to be grounded. You're going to be not reacting to them. You're not going to bite back. You're going to allow them to say, and you're going to be feeling in a place of peace and love, not of fear, where we may have been in the past, where we may have been like, oh, it's my fault, and we would stew about it for days. It's going to be like, that's tough that she got triggered like that. I wonder what's going on. We're going to have this compassion and this love. It's just going to be such planets, when you think about them, they're all, it's energy, it's reflective light, it's coming back to us. They're like beings, these planets that are moving around. And when they sit in certain houses, they really affect certain things. And with Gemini being your communication sign, and with Mars and Mercury, it's just so much communication is going on. And so you may find that people are a little explosive. People, even over the last couple of weeks, have kind of been going more through that breakdown versus that breakthrough. But what I feel like is that breakdown, even that they had, is now leading to a breakthrough, or at least has the potential to, if we want it to. And because we're all here tonight, we're learning about this stuff. We're interested in it. We're wanting to be our best selves. We're wanting to be showing up as our best selves. And this is the thing. You can't play the game. You can't win the game. You can't get better at the game if, first of all, you don't show up. And second of all, you don't practice it. So this is our opportunity to practice self-love, practice self-care, practice love for others, practice balance. I think the biggest word that we could bring in for this whole month of November as it comes to an end is balance. December 1st, we have numerologically another 11 master day. So that's going to bring in some huge shifts, some some really cool stuff is going to happen by December 1st. Like there's people who will be getting new opportunities. It's so many new starts happening on December 1st. And a lot of that is because of this big full moon that we're having right now, so that we can choose to let go of those things that have been holding us back, those thoughts, those beliefs, those stories that we told ourselves, those ways that we were trained. But does it change overnight? No, right? Does it change because we do it once? I had the most amazing day. I'm just going to tell you guys a really quick story. On Wednesday, I had the opportunity to go out and see one of my, I should say, my absolute favorite musician who lives in Canada, and was coming down to our area on this particular day. And it was just so amazing. And I woke up and I was a little bit off, and I was texting with my husband, and I was like, yeah, I have so much going on today. I was going with with my girlfriend who's on here, actually, Carla. We had such a beautiful night. And but that morning was like, I don't even have time to go for a drink. Like, I'm so bummed, I was like kind of focusing on negative, and I went, oof, that's not me. And he's like, well, I hope you have fun. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have so much fun. Like, that sounded really negative. And I actually, I went and did my group on Wednesday, did a meditation for raising your vibration. I went back and I read what I wrote, and I was like, that was so negative. It was all about how, I'm not even gonna have time. It was like, I was completely overlooking the fact, and I was like, it's going to be an amazing night. Everything is going to work out so good. And it worked out so good. We were able to have a drink before we pulled up, and there was a parking spot right in front. Like, the absolutely didn't even have to walk in the cold. It was like, wow, everything just works out. Had I stayed in that negative state, it would have been rushed and probably would have made different decisions. Who knows, could have gotten in a car accident. Like, so many things could have happened. Instead, it was just the most magical, beautiful evening that just could allow to be unfolded, because all of a sudden I was able to get out of that funk. And this is it, right? And that's just a little funk. There's way bigger funks to get into, but just a little, just a fun story. It was so fun to actually get out. But even just getting out and listening to his music, I feel like that was like the best concert I've ever seen in my whole life, like the best concert that he ever did. And I was so grateful to have gotten there. And it was just so huge. And it was so easy to stay in gratitude. And I've just been able to stay in that gratitude since. And today's been even better. It's just been such an amazing day. And even yesterday. But the thing is when we aren't feeling that amazingness, we notice. And it's so important to notice what it is that's not making you feel good, because that thing that's not making you feel good is often not aligned with your soul's purpose, right? It's not aligned with you being your best self. It's not, even if it's just feeling crummy because you're, doing too much. So then you got to look at that. Am I doing too much? Is there things that I could let go? So this full moon, I love to do like a little bit of a ritual per se, where you actually do a little bit of journaling, where you write down some things that have been bothering you, and ask yourself, this has been bothering me, and even say because, and allow your pen to just do the work. Allow your pen to just write, and actually write the thing down. Like this, my financial situation, my relationship has been really bothering me, because this is a time for shifts in relationship, because it is this Gemini full moon. But shifts in a relationship doesn't mean the relationship has to end altogether. It doesn't mean that it is done for, that you have to end it all, that you're never to see them again. This could just be the end of your relationship with yourself in this relationship, how you have been conducting yourself, how you've been maybe living in the past, how you've been maybe thinking they're going to do something because someone else did, how you're thinking these old stories. Maybe some old stories are going to come up in the next week or two as you take some time to just meditate, of things that you can be slightly accountable for, that you can maybe sort of step back and take a position of soul, or super conscious, as we like to call it sometimes, that field of all knowing, kind of looking to that field for answers, not necessarily trying to figure it all out, but allowing yourself to take those few minutes to not just react to something, to literally take a couple breaths and respond. So I've talked a lot about, just in our group, about breath work and things like that, allowing it to move through your body. Because it's like, well, it's easy, Jackie, just let it go, right? How do you let it go? How do you let this stuff move through? A lot of people have been really emotional. We had the planets last week were bringing up huge emotions, like they were intense. If you were sad, you were so sad. If you were happy, you were so happy. It was so very extreme. But what happened in that is a lot of people were releasing stuff. A lot of people were releasing, they were crying. They were allowing themselves to have this space. Sometimes a good cry is a huge release, like an absolutely amazing release. People were sort of feeling just the need to get moving again. This solar cycle that I was talking about, it causes some physical symptoms, like joints have been a little bit more sore, maybe feeling a little bit more tired, headachy. Headachy is because our crown chakra and our third chakra are being affected so deeply right now, that they're trying to open. And if we're dehydrated, it's not going to happen. So it's like, that's the first thing, right? Making sure your body is nurtured, making sure that you're getting those protein and energy dense foods, and that you're making sure that you're just doing something as simple as drinking water. But it's also, with all the planets I was talking about, interesting to look at the things that we are consuming in our lives, those things that we're overindulging or underindulging in. Are we ready to sort of shift some of that? This is all about creating balance, right? So where are you overgiving? Perhaps you could scale it back a bit. Maybe you could even spend a little bit of that energy, time, money, whatever it is, on yourself, because we're really apt to give it to other people, but we don't always think of ourselves. We tend to be lower on the list, especially when the holidays start to come around. It's all about, sort of making sure everybody has everything they need, and we need to sort of go into this in a grounded state, because if we're going into any situation where we're ungrounded, we're not going to be able to be our true authentic self that's been starting to want to come out lately, right? Starting to want to come out to play. We've been all sort of feeling this on this collective level. So it's been really pretty amazing. It's just, now, how are we going to receive this information, and what are we going to do with it, right? So like I say, grounding, get out on the ground if you can. People are scooping up grounding mats like crazy. Get yourself or someone else a grounding mat for Christmas, perhaps. Crystals are beautiful to ground with, right? Saging, doing, having incense, having just a few minutes of meditating with your palms up, receiving, allowing yourself to just be in that chanting, humming, allowing your neurological system to sort of reset itself, allowing your space to be a peaceful space, whatever it is. A lot of people have been purging things lately, just cleaning their spaces, just feeling that need to really want to really want to have a clean, free environment. And that's sort of what our head needs now too. And this is kind of what's happening. It's like that Sagittarius energy is like, yeah, I got this. And soul is kind of going, but do you make sure you don't repeat what you did before, because this is time for new shifts. This is time for new life rooms. This is time for it's time to shine. It's time to be our true authentic selves, right? I love that. Energy healing masters are getting upgrades in their abilities. Absolutely. Right. And they're putting it out there, and it's like, and you're feeling it. And so many people are noticing too. I've even heard people that aren't in this kind of work. They're like, oh, this huge shift. Like, I don't know what, but I feel like there's so much more, this is this cosmic awakening that's happening in next week. You think it's been cool so far. Wait till next week and the week after. This is when the pineal gland is going to be really, really affected. And like by Wednesday, Thursday, it's people will be feeling headachy if they aren't sort of taking those physical steps to make sure that they are sort of really grounded and ready for these lessons. I'm just going to use my oil and ground. My body's shaking, just releasing all this. So awesome. This is going to be a huge releasing moon. I knew it was going to be, but I'm excited to do a meditation a few days before the moon, because it actually happens Monday night. That is the full moon itself. So you can do the meditation on replay. You can, sort of keep meditating, whatever it is, find some cool guided meditations, and really allow yourself to build up this energy, because like I say, that master day at the end of the month, it's almost, people are calling in the spiritual realm, calling it like the end of the year. We're almost getting to like a New Year's energetically. For December, we're already kind of going into that 2024, into that 8 year of true manifestation. And so it's going to be like just on fire. It's just going to be absolutely amazing. The clairvoyances, the 4Cs, clairaudiences, cognizant, they're coming in, like people are getting huge upgrades and attunements per se. So especially for Reiki to have these attunements automatically happening, not surprising that you're seeing that, and we'll all probably be seeing that. It's like you'll start noticing people offering different things, and people that you didn't even know want to heal all of a sudden. There's no reason that any of us couldn't do energetic healing. I took bioenergy, took a course, and it was just like most of the people in there got it. That doesn't always happen, but there's probably a different form of healing for them, right? That actually works. Reiki, theta healing, polarity therapy. There's so many cool ways to be able to help affect people if we actually were to allow ourselves to receive it. But we think, well, I'm not a healer, I'm just a whatever, right? I'm just what do I have to offer? But all of these things that have been coming up to this point so far have been kind of guiding us in this direction, and showing us that we have mad skills, that we have energy to offer on a morphogenic field, right? Just as the planets are, so are we. We have this natural ability to be able to do something. So why not let ourselves have some fun with it, and actually really allow ourselves to get in tune, to allow that third eye to open, to be able to really, see things in a way that we haven't before, and allow some of these visions that are truly going to be coming in over the next couple of weeks to literally actually be seen. So one of the other things I wanted to say is talking it out. Gemini moon, talking things out. Apparently I've got the Gemini energy tonight. But talking things out, sometimes we write things out. So it might be a beautiful thing to do just for this full moon, to actually do it with a friend and talk about the things that you like, have those deep conversations, right? Do something together where you're actually talking it out. When you talk things out, you start to hear your own patterns, right? That's why I love coaching, because just in hearing what people say and really listening to what they say, it's like, I see a pattern here, and you can enlighten them, or they can go back and watch the recording and see it themselves too, and just be like, oh, that's actually a belief that I have. I didn't even realize that I believe that I didn't do that kind of stuff, or we're going to have these kind of, some of the insights that we're going to have, maybe even humbling, like this argumentative thing that we had that we've been hanging on to, that's going to work itself out in the next couple of weeks. It may be humbling to us, because we may actually see a part of us that we are ready to let go of. That's what this moon is all about. So allow these shifts to happen, but be careful who you're talking to, right? Don't just choose a friend that wants to hang out that night that you don't really feel like if everything in your body is not saying yes, don't do it. Don't allow yourself to repeat those patterns, to hang out with the people that drain you or that are going to break you down. Hang out with someone who's going to build you up, and who's going to just help your energy light up, right? Like that you're going to be able to do that for each other. And someone that, people may still get triggered just because of the energies going on with the planets, but to know that this person has your back, that sort of supports you. If it's someone that usually gets kind of triggered and usually says things that are kind of hurtful, and you usually walk away, just don't do it, especially for a full moon kind of thing. But maybe this is even some of the things that we can look at to shed, right? These people kind of are not in the vibration that you are, and you may find, as you keep shifting and you keep raising your vibration, things that don't vibrate at that same level will just kind of fall away. You won't have to have those big, huge talks or arguments. You won't have to even make those decisions. These decisions, it's like they're already sort of being made. You just have to actually receive them and know and trust that they're for your greater good, and that it is literally all so that you can move on your desired path. I feel like especially careers are going to be a big thing where there's some big shifts going on. People are really coming to the point, and we can now with the internet and things like that do a lot more of actually enjoying what we like and being able to monetize that in ways that we never could before. So that on a collective level is really affecting people too. We're seeing other people do it. They're lighting the path for us. So if we're on that same vibration, we're going to be automatically connecting with those people that are going to literally have that lantern on that path lit up for us. So one of the things that we can look at is, what if, when we have, usually what's stopping us is fears. So when we really kind of stop and take a look at what is it that we fear that is making it hard for us to accept the truth of what is, right? So when we really kind of break that down, there's things that we're afraid of with truths. And this is something that you can ask yourself over the full moon, what are the things that I'm afraid of, especially when it comes to accepting the way things are, accepting the truth of what is. If we had to look at people around us, if we had to look at some of the things, sometimes change is really hard, and sometimes we're afraid to change, but the change is exactly what all of this has been leading us up to. Changes aren't always bad. So they're just scary, and that causes the subconscious to generally throw up a lot of resistance. So this is the opportunity, especially with Sag and Gemini, the sun and the moon, completely exactly opposite of each other. It's like the head and the heart can finally kind of come together. The left brain and the right brain, the spiritual taking that left step first and the physical following. It's all starting to kind of come together, right? It's really all starting to it's going to start to make some sense, that clarity, that feeling that, it's going to just be so much easier over the next couple of weeks, because it's been a little tumultuous for some of us. It really has. So I saw a question about that I wanted to get back to with past life experiences and connecting with those. And because it's not only our beliefs and stories, right? It's our past lives, it's our ancestral beliefs, it's these things that have been set up before we were even around. I mean, when you look at how many people had to be here for you to even be here, there's a lot of beliefs that were passed down. And I always tell the story about the monkey or the mice. They did experiments with both, where you could do one thing to a basically a group of monkeys, and 5 genetic families later, these beliefs, although that never happened to those monkeys that were from the further generations, they still had this fear. They just had these beliefs. They knew what, and I mean, monkeys, we don't even know that how they communicate, right? But this is passed on through energy. This is how energetic stuff can sort of follow us. So what I would do, as far as, there's lots of past life, meditation things that you can do, but I feel like pertaining to this full moon, this is one of those things we can literally ask to be released from our body. When we set that intention energetically, that's all it takes for ancestral and past life beliefs to be reconstructed. Because this time, this full moon right now, and I wouldn't say this for any other full moon, so I love that you asked this question at this point, because I think I even said on Wednesday, it was like taking us and putting us in this big, what do you call those? The snowballs, the snow globes, and shaking it all up. That's kind of what the solar cycle and the planetary energetics that are going on right now, that's kind of what's happening. It's like it's shaking our whole planet, shaking our whole energy fields, and allowing some of that stuff to settle down to the bottom. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a meditation right away. And we're almost going to imagine that we have this cord that comes out from our tailbone and is tapped down into the earth. And it's almost going to be like a when I was picturing it, when I was just meditating on doing the meditation, I was picturing almost like a cartoony gas, like a line that was like how it would bulge and like purge out. It was just like this big rubber tube that just bulged and then was just like pumping out things that we don't need anymore, that dense energy, anything that we're hanging on to, whether it be past. So in the meditation, I will literally address that, and we can start moving through some of that stuff, just allowing that to shift and change, just have a beautiful experience. So one of the things I want to bring in is I love matrix energetics. If you guys don't know what matrix energetics is, I have a couple of sessions. It's about 2.5 hours or so of all the matrix energetics frequencies and what colors they are, how they work, and we tune in and feel each one of them. So feel free to get in touch with me and I can send that over to you as a full moon gift. And you can listen to the matrix energetics frequencies. But one of the ones that I really love is this. It's number 13. It's this beautiful green foresty type energy. So it's like the antidote to the concrete jungle. It's like this whoosh of like if you were in a box and it had all these green lush walls around it with all these vines and plants, and just like you were just submersed into this green forest of energy. So I want you guys to just tap into feeling green, feeling this beautiful frequency start to just sort of settle and calm and ground your whole nervous system. And if you guys are ready, I would love to just guide us on a quick little meditation to help us to release anything that we are ready to release in this full moon. Does that sound okay? Awesome. So just take a moment and get as comfortable as you can in any position that you choose. Some people like to lie down. Some people like to sit. If you're going to sit, I suggest just having your back supported so that you can relax as much as possible. And imagine that you are in a beautiful dense forest. And I want you to just almost like you're just being dropped down into there. And as you get dropped down into the ground of the forest, I want you to start focusing on your own breath. Your own breath is the first thing that you hear as you land in the ground of this beautiful green forest. And just notice what your breath sounds like, what it feels like. Does it feel like when you breathe in through your nose, and does it feel cool? And as you breathe out through your mouth and just relax your body as much as you can. Imagine your hair melting, your face relaxing and softening, your eyebrows, your forehead softening and relaxing. And I want you to keep breathing in. As you breathe in, fill your belly up like a big basketball that's just inflating and becoming bigger inside your belly, pushing your belly button out. And now breathing out, start relaxing your neck muscles, your shoulders, just dropping your shoulders, maybe dropping your arms. You can allow your palms to be face up if you would love to just receive this beautiful moonlight energy. My hands are just buzzing, so I'm just going to direct a little bit of energy work towards you guys, just helping to cleanse and clear any of those fields. This is just bioenergy, so it's just meant to go exactly where it needs to go. And as you keep breathing in and out, I want you to start noticing some of the other sounds you might hear in this beautiful forest. Maybe you hear some leaves rustling. Maybe you hear some trees. Maybe you hear some animals that may be moving. And just allow yourself to breathe and listen to what you hear in this forest. And now just notice some of the smells that you're smelling in this beautiful forest. What does the wood smell like in the trees? Does it smell like pine, or does it smell more tropical? Do you smell fruit trees? What is it that you're smelling right now? Is it the leaves? Perhaps a forest that you've been in has a certain smell that's just bringing you back to it right now. I want you to notice how it looks. What colors of green do you see? What colors of brown? What other colors do you see? Do you see maybe an animal off in the woods? Sometimes there's a spirit animal that comes around. Sometimes there's some that love to show themselves to you. Notice if you see any critters in the midst of the forest. And as you're looking down, I want you to sort of notice this path that's starting to look a lot like crystals. There's this beautiful pathway of stepping stones, but they look like they're crystally underneath. They're smooth, they're soft, they're easy to walk on, and they're beckoning you to come forward and down the path. Notice what color they are. Maybe it's a black obsidian, maybe it's a crystal quartz. And I want you to just notice these stones and how your feet feel on them. Do you have shoes on? Do you have bare feet? Can you imagine that you have bare feet right now and that you're actually letting your feet wrap around this beautiful crystal as you walk along it? Are the steps different stones? Maybe they're all different colors. Just imagine whatever you see. Allow your third eye to start to work and to come alive. Imagine your third eye and your pineal gland starting to expand and starting to make these colors even more vibrant. And these stones ever more beautiful. Notice the cracks in them. Maybe there's some resin, some beautiful little sparkles inside. Just noticing, and keep walking along these stones. And as you keep walking, I want you to imagine that you start to look up ahead of you to a big open field. A big open field that you can see nothing but moonlight and stars. And I want you to imagine now that from the top of your head, from the crown chakra, that it starts to open to this star energy. It's like the moonlight is waking it up. It's like it's unfurling the leaves of the beautiful lotus that's resting on top of your gorgeous crown chakra. And allow those leaves to unfold, those petals to expand and open up to that moonlit energy. This beautiful full moon is shining light on situations, on relationships, on people, on yourself, on your true authentic self, and how to create balance between your heart and your head, bringing the human and the being together. And just for a moment, allow that beautiful moonlight star energy start to fill your whole body. As it starts to fill and cleanse and clear your brain, cleansing the clutter, transmuting the dense energy, allowing anything to shift, anything that needs to leave the body to now travel down through your spine from your head. Imagine it traveling down your spine, down the whole back, down to the bottom of the tailbone, and it makes this beautiful magical cord that comes right out of your body and goes directly down into the earth. Mother Gaia takes this cord down right into the core of the earth and hooks it up to the pump of energetic light. And just imagine now that these dense thoughts in the brain, you don't need to know what they are. You can just ask for them to be cleared. You can just choose to be ready to let them go, to be ready to let the mud start to flow, and envision the energy of maybe a darker colored light moving down that cord. See that cord gulp and bulge as these things start to move down it. Again, you don't need to know what it is. You may have some insight. You're just cleaning house. It's like putting the vacuum under the couch. You may get a sock, but it's all going to wind up in the same place. It's going down there. We didn't even know it was a problem. And for a moment, just feel that light, that star energy, that star cleansing light from the full moon start to travel down your neck. Start to cleanse and clear the throat chakra, removing any dense energy, any discomfort from the jaw, from the head, removing that pressure, allowing all of the pressure to recalibrate in the head. The neck was simply pinching it off by being stubborn, by being stuck in our ways, and allow that to just feel the flow of energy all the way down through the throat chakra as you start to speak your truth. So you start to feel who you really are and know you are love and you're coming from love, speaking from love, listening through love. Allowing that throat chakra to simply cleanse, clear, and transmute as that light starts to flow down. This star and moonlight is so powerful. It's like sitting in the sun and feeling the sun start to move down your body. But this moonlight is electric, it's energetic, it's magical, and it's moving down your shoulders now. In through your shoulders, in through your rib cage, and starting to touch into that heart chakra, where we expand our morphogenic field feet out from our body and just allow that to expand, cleanse, clear, transmute. And any of that dense energy through the throat, through this heart, anywhere you're feeling little twangs of pain, any discomfort, your body's trying to show you that right now. Pay attention to what your body is showing you, where it's uncomfortable. And allow it to simply slip into the spine and down that cord as it's gulped down into Mother Earth's energy to be cleansed, to be cleared, to be transmuted. Allowing the heart to heal all of the pain that we're choosing to not hang on to anymore. Stories that may have come up over the last few weeks, enlightenment. Knowing your part, knowing your authentic self, trusting you deserve happiness, you deserve love. You deserve to love. Imagine if you allowed that in. Imagine if you allowed yourself. Despite past hurts, despite past stories, despite any ancestral or past life beliefs, allowing those all to be exchanged into the earth energy, creating this beautiful light down the spine and down through the cord, right out your tailbone and down into the earth. Any stories around who you are, any stories around how it has to be, any of those stories that don't serve you anymore, you can simply ask for them to be washed away, released, blown into the wind like the air energy of the Gemini moon. And allow this beautiful star and moonlight to keep traveling down your body through your solar plexus, through those deepest wishes and desires, those windowed rooms that are hiding away, that you've tucked away. You're finding the keys now, the keys you've always had, that you can simply just go and unlock these doors of your deepest wishes and desires, those things that light you up, that you could spend all day doing, that you know just make you happy. Allowing anything in that area, in and around the stomach, just under the rib cage, any discomfort into the spine where we feel lack of support, where we feel like we're on our own, like we have to do it all on our own. Just ask for this energy to be released from the body, front and back of the solar plexus. Those stories of we always have to do it ourselves. These are the stories we're telling ourselves. We made them up. We can make up new stories. We just have to practice them. We have to play this different game. And allow this star and moon energy to start to move down into that sacral plexus, down into your low back, your lower abdomen, any digestive problems, any organ problems, kidney, pancreas, liver, stomach, all of those things. This is where fears, old stories, old patterns, they love to settle in there, especially financial patterns, things that we've told ourselves that we always make a certain amount that we can't have anymore. Allow those old beliefs, those old stories, especially from parents, from past lives, ancestral beliefs, all of these old stories that aren't fitting anymore. All of those that were settled in that low back and those hips, allow those to be released and relieved right now through that cord, down your spine, out your tailbone, through that beautiful cord that is just beautifully exchanging all of this information down into the earth. Pumping away any of that dense energy, just allowing and asking this to be released from this sacral plexus, right down into the root chakra, our core wounds, our first chakra, those before we were even born beliefs, those unsettled emotions that we carry from past generations, allowing these to all move through our cord, through that tailbone, down into the earth. Imagine and see how that cord is just pumping right now. Have you noticed there's more in some areas or less? Allowing traumas, stories, lots of family stuff down there in that root chakra. Allow yourself to feel your pelvic floor muscles releasing and relaxing now. Consciously relaxing each muscle, front, middle, and back through that whole energy center. And notice any discomfort in your legs, feet, knees, and ask this light to just keep moving through. Allow it to just pour. Open up that crown chakra and just allow that star and moonlight to start pouring down through your legs, almost like it's just giving you this final rinse, this wash, allowing any dense energies, especially in joints and in any of the body systems, to simply be released. And as you're standing in this field and you're feeling this energetic cleanse and wash going on, and as that pull starts to wane a little bit from the earth, as that cord starts to relax a little bit more, those energies are starting to just flow through without those big gulps anymore, cleansing and clearing out anything from the body that's being held on to physically. And now going into our spiritual, our energetic field, just really cleansing any of the radiant lines and meridians, anything that needs to be opened up, allowing our nervous system to operate properly and function at full capacity. Notice anywhere in your body that's feeling some discomfort, trying to get your attention right now, and draw your attention there. Breathing into it, draw a nice deep breath and send your breath right to that area. And allow your breath to push that last bit of dense energy out of your body and through that cord. And as you're standing in this field, I want you to take a look around at the space around you, this beautiful field just lit up by the star and moonlight. And there's a very beautiful, huge quartz crystal that's about the size of you, right in front of you. It's got a sheen to it. It's got a flat edge where it almost looks like a mirror. And I want you to imagine seeing yourself in this mirrored image of this gorgeous, clear crystal quartz. This one that brings mind clarity. It brings healing, this clear quartz. You can touch it, you can put your hand on it, you can get right up to it. And as you do, it's almost like it's playing a movie screen for you right in front of you. It's showing you your body at a higher vibration. It's just showing you your new life room. This is showing you your energetic being, your beautiful smile, your hair that's glowing, your skin that feels elastic and plump and nurtured. I want you to feel yourself looking at this image of your new life room, of your new energetic body, of this cleansed energetic body, so that your physical can match it. You've taken the left step, you've put your left brain into energetic healing. All of your spiritual trust that you have, you're allowing this to open up, and you're watching the physical follow the right step, the right side of the brain, the coherence of the heart and the head, seeing yourself as others see you, as this beautiful healing soul, shedding away those old skins of that Scorpio new moon. They're gone. You are a new being. You are a new light energy. Allow your body to let that cord do any final pumps and movements through of anything that needs to leave your energetic body right now. And watch that cord magically disappear as your energetic light, your soul and your being, your human and your being all come together. And I want you to notice in this image that you can see in this crystal of something more that you'd love to just bring into your life. If it's a little bit more love, if it's a little bit more laughter, if it's a little bit more peace, harmony, abundance. I want you to imagine watching yourself experience that right now. What is it that you're doing? Are you doing something fun? Just allow your third eye that's so open right now to play with you. It might have just shown you something goofy like doing pottery or sitting in the mud and playing, or being with your kids and just moving freely, running around, doing something that you love, being around a bunch of new people, being social. Perhaps it's just being by the fire. This is your balance stone. This is allowing you to be able to create a little bit more balance. What do you need to bring in a little bit more of? What do you need to let go of a little bit more of? What kind of action steps are coming up for you as you're watching yourself in this crystal, beautiful image maker? What are you being shown that you could be doing to create a little bit more balance? Maybe you don't have to give up YouTube altogether, but just maybe spend an hour on it. Maybe you don't have to give up wine altogether, but just have a glass. Maybe you don't have to give up chocolate altogether, but how can this be balanced? It doesn't have to be so extreme. This is about creating balance. Maybe we have to move energy once in a while. That anger, that negative energy, Mars is going to be bringing that up. Notice what it is that you can do to release that energy. Do you see yourself doing some Tai Chi or some yoga? Have you just been wanting to sauna lately? Have you been wanting to go for a treatment somewhere? Notice these action steps and just thank the universe, thank your soul and yourself for being here tonight as you take a few nice receiving breaths. Choosing to release anything else that's ready to go from your energetic, physical, soul, human being. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and wiggle a finger. If you don't want to open your eyes yet and you just want to stay there, you absolutely can. So take some time, especially over the next couple of weeks, to really embrace Saturn still being in retrograde right now, and embracing that stop and collate and collect information before just forcing ourselves forward. You guys are so awesome. I am going to absolutely send you that email. I will just write that down really quick. Do you guys have any questions for me before I let you go into your wonderful weekend? It's going to be a big weekend. I didn't really tell you guys like day by day. I had some day by day stuff I was going to share. I'm just going to kind of go over my things that I really wanted to talk to you about certain days, because there definitely is this weekend, Saturday, you might notice those people kind of popping in, those people from the past. Sundays really sort of being open to all, making those positive, inspired actions. So hopefully if you saw action in any of your visions there, looking into your stone, it is time to fully embrace that and act upon it, because now it's like we have the information, we've been given so many beautiful gifts. Now we get to assimilate and really keep ourselves accountable to what it is that we're making these life choices, right? So we get to actually choose to speak up for ourselves. We get to actually choose to assimilate and make some shifts and changes. So that's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's all about moving, releasing. You might cry on Monday. Monday might be a little bit of it's a full moon, right? Tuesday is kind of like the post full moon pause where you're just like, holy crap, then the integration time really starts. It's going to be beautiful. Wednesday is going to be a super high vibrational day, like really high vibe. So that also may be a time that kind of evokes you to do things that you normally wouldn't do. You might get an opportunity where you're like, oh, maybe I should just stay. Maybe I should just, you got to step out of here. You got to embrace the Sag energy and just go for it and allow soul to guide you. And then Thursday is where we're really going to sort of feel Neptune affecting our third eye and our pineal gland. So one of the things I love to do for pineal gland is think of a candle, like a candle flame, and just imagine a candle flame just being like literally in your third eye, and like you're looking at it. You can picture it whatever color you want. I like pulling in purple sometimes for Saint Germain. But imagine just a candlelight in front. That's going to help continue to open up your third eye and open up your crown and really keep you focused, because Thursday Neptune's really going to bring that in, and those visions are going to start and the intuition's going to start coming, and it's going to be such an intense first sort of week of December. Choose to launch whatever it is you're doing by December 12th. Use that little portal that we have there with Mercury going into retrograde, where we'd normally stay away from computers and stuff. This is the time, because we've been honing our voice and our throat chakra is going to be so nice and clear. It's going to go expansively and beautifully. So I had way too much to say today. Love you guys. Thank you so much. Have an amazing weekend, and we'll hopefully see you next Friday. Love you all. Take care. Bye.